Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another one-shot review, and today we're taking a look at the Marvel Legends DisneyPlus Wave Falcon and the Winter Soldier Baron Zemo. And I already took the figure out of the box, obviously. Originally, I wasn't planning on reviewing this guy, but then when I took him out of the packaging, I was like, man, this thing is awesome. I want to talk about it. So here we are, but just to give you a quick look at the box, here it is. Pretty much the only thing cool to talk about is the awesome Baron Zemo artwork on the side of it. And that's about it. So enough about the collector-friendly packaging. Let's go ahead and talk about Zemo. So first off, I do want to say I'm a big fan of this design for the character. It's interesting because it doesn't necessarily feel comic book accurate like whatsoever. There's no similarities between this and the comic book version of Zemo other than the purple. But aside from that, they have nothing in common. This is like completely original, but it's crazy because it still feels like the character. Daniel Brühl did such a good job of portraying Zemo that even though this doesn't necessarily look like Zemo, the character still feels like Baron Zemo, and I think that's awesome. I do like the way the jacket looks. It does have some nice sculpting on it. The body has some pretty good sculpting work on it too. It does have a bit of a shine to it, and I wish it was a little bit more matte, but really I only have that problem on the torso. The legs look okay, but I do wish that it had like a matte kind of look to it, so I might have to hit it with a matte finish or something like that. But yeah, I think this is a really cool looking figure. And, you know, he can't do a whole lot because of the jacket. It's a little restricted, but it's still pretty fun because you could definitely... This pointer finger actually does a lot for him. You know, something simple like that can go a long way. But yeah, I think this is a great looking figure. He does have a really nice head sculpt. I love this, like, purple look in the hair. It's really interesting and different. I don't think I've seen that, like, on a normal looking character, you know, like just a human head that has like a purple shade to kind of match the rest of the design. I think that's cool. And as far as the face sculpt goes, I think they did a really great job with it. Hasbro continues to improve with capturing real life people in plastic form, and I think this one came out very nice. Moving down into the body, we do have some nice sculpting work for the shirt. He kind of has like a strap that goes around it or something. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on here, but we do have a bunch of sculpting work. The jacket is very well sculpted. He does have his belt buckle that looks nice. And the jacket just fits on the figure very well too. Obviously it's plastic, so it's not like it's going to be moving around all over the place or anything, but it just sits on the figure very nice. And I like the way it looks. And then let's see what else we have going on. Not a whole lot. The gloves look awesome, to be honest with you. There's some great sculpting work in there. I like the colors. And yeah, I think they did a great job with the design. So this is great, man. I really like the way this figure looks. But let's go ahead and talk about the accessories. So first off, he does come with his nice looking golden gun, which he has no problem holding at all. And he does have two sets of hands, starting with the ones you see here. For the right side, he does have a trigger finger gripping hand, and on the left side, he has a pointer finger hand. And then aside from those two, he does have a pair of fists. He does come with his awesome, iconic, comic-inspired mask. And when you throw that on there, it's like, ooh, shit, this is dope. Yeah, like, this is an awesome looking head sculpt. They did a great job with the details on the mask too. I love the texture. I like the lines. I like the way that the eyes look. Just everything about this masked head sculpt looks amazing to me. So that looks dope. And just look at that, man. He looks so menacing and evil. I love how in the show, like anytime he had a problem with someone, he would just try to shoot him. Like he wouldn't reason with anybody. He would just shoot people. Like, oh, the scientist is doing his thing. Bow. Oh, super soldier running around doing whatever. Bow. You know, he was wild. But that whole attitude and energy is kind of displayed a little bit better when he has his mask on. So really good stuff there. And then he also comes with his book. His little notebook. So there we go. He's got a pretty good amount of accessories. And then he does come with a Build-A-Figure piece for Falcon's wings. And I was considering doing a one-shot for Falcon. Let me know if you guys want to see that. But yeah, look at that. Really cool looking figure. But let's go ahead and get into some size comparisons. I do got a bunch of figures ready for size comparisons here. Let's get Zemo all squared away. There we go. So for the first size comparison, we're going to put him next to John Walker, U.S. Agent, and Captain America, Sam Wilson's Captain America. And yeah, he looks pretty good next to them. I like how he's a little shorter and a little less physically threatening. He's not big and imposing next to these big superhero type of guys. He's just a little dude, but, you know, he causes damage. So good stuff there. And then next up, we have him alongside, oops, I dropped one, oopsies. Next up, we have him alongside the Mezco Black Panther, and then the Marvel Legends movie Deadpool. And he looks good next to them. You could maybe get him into some Black Panther kind of action, you know, have him fighting Black Panther, because they do kind of have beef, even though Black Panther did kind of forgive him, I guess you could say. I don't know. Not necessarily, but you know what I mean. And then here we have him alongside Shang-Chi and Marvel Legends Power and Glory Captain America. And man, this Shang-Chi figure is really dope too. I kind of forget about him, you know. When he first came out, I picked him up. I messed around with him, thought he was cool, but then I just put him in a drawer because I don't have a big old MCU display. He's in a drawer, and then every now and then I take him out and I go, man, this thing was awesome. So maybe I'll have to do like a one shot of him as well. And then let's see what else we got going on here. Let's get a couple of villains. Here we have him alongside Taskmaster, Marvel Legends Taskmaster. And he or she looks pretty big next to Zemo. And then here we have Killmonger, one of the best MCU villains. I apologize that Zemo's a little sitting sideways. And then for the final size comparison, of course, we have Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man and Marvel Legends Bucky Cap. Bam. Yeah, so there you go for the size comparisons. And then let's go ahead and talk about articulation. So first off, he does have the new Hasbro neck style that we've seen a lot of times. With the masked head, it does sit pretty high, so you get some pretty good movement out of it. It could kind of go side to side. It could just move around. Can't really get him to look up though. I mean, you can, I guess. Like the head does move on the ball joint quite a bit, but then look at that big old gap. So yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, this head is definitely too high. Look at that. From the front, it's not a big deal at all. But when you start to look at it, it's definitely too high. But it does allow for some movement, so that's cool. And then for the torso, he does have an ab crunch, which goes forward to right there. And then it doesn't really go back because of the jacket. I think I would have preferred a diaphragm cut in here. And it could have been hidden very nicely in all the wrinkles in his shirt. I mean, the ab crunch is hidden just as well, but I think a diaphragm cut would have been a little bit better. That way we could get him to lean side to side and all kinds of cool stuff. And it would have helped out the movement, especially considering that a lot of it is hindered by the jacket. So I would have preferred a diaphragm cut in this case. And then he does have a waist swivel. And then everything else is pretty standard Marvel Legends stuff. So for the arms, they do go all the way around. They come out to the side, only to about right there, actually. His shoulders are a little big, so he has trouble getting his arms all the way up unless you kind of rotate them. But, yeah, there you go. And then he does have a swivel at the wrist, and he's got a hinge, but you can't really move it because of his jacket. On this side, what do we have? We have a hinge. Oh, and then he has the he's got a swivel and then a vertical hinge. And then for the arms, he does have double jointed elbows. Bam, those get a really good bend. Look at that. For the legs, they come up to right there. And then you can bring them back only to right there because the jacket gets in the way. Obviously, the jacket's going to hinder the articulation quite a bit. Then he does have upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees. They get a pretty good bend. And then at the foot, no swivel, but his foot goes forward to right there, comes up to right there. Then he does have rocking ankles. So unfortunately, I just realized this, but they used older legs. So with these older legs, we have the pins, and then we don't have the rotating foot. So I would have preferred if they would have used newer legs on Zemo. It's so frustrating when we have the awesome pinless stuff going on with the arms, but then not on the legs. It just doesn't make any sense. Again, I get that they have to reuse parts and all that cool stuff and whatever, but I wish they would just kind of go for it and go all out when they, like this figure is like 80% new or like 70% new. The only things that appear to be reused are the legs. So why not just go all the way and give them all new stuff, man? But still, I do think it's a great looking figure. Look at that. He looks awesome, actually. I love the way this guy looks. This pointer finger just does a lot for him. He's like, you working on super soldiers? Bam! End of story. Game over. Look at that. He does look good, man. And I really hope to see Zemo back in the MCU sooner rather than later. I would love if he kind of put together some sort of Thunderbolts or something, even with John Walker. Him and John, oops, and then the lady that appears at the end, I forget her name. But yeah, hopefully she reaches out to him to create the Thunderbolts. I think that'd be awesome. But yeah, he's a really cool character, and now I'm happy to have a figure of it. And I don't know if the show was big enough to... I'm not sure if the show was so big that we would see every company try to put out figures from it. Like, it would be cool to see a Mafex or a Figure Arts Baron Zemo. I don't think they'll do that. So this might be the only Zemo that we get, or the only movie Zemo that we get in this with this design until they do like some other type of movie Zemo. But you know, if that turns out to be the case, I think I'm okay with that, because like I said, he came out really good. I'm probably going to be on the lookout for some different legs though. Like, or maybe I could, I don't know, we'll see. But I might be on the lookout for some different legs so that he could have legs that match the arms with the whole pinless thing. Like, aside from these pins and the legs, everything else looks pretty much perfect, man. It's a good looking figure. So anyways, I do think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this one-shot review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification. Make sure that you hit the bell notification, all right? So that you are notified every time that I go live. If you're not aware, I do go live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and every Friday at 7 p.m. So come through. Let's talk about toys and get weird. Peace.